So it's finally here, folks. It is finally here. The 2022-2023 EFL League 2 campaign is just around the corner. And, of course, we're going to predict each and every one of the games, starting right here with match number 1. Who's going to get off to a flyer? Who's going to get off to a stinker? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, we're back once again, of course, kicking off a brand new squeaky clean EFL League 2 campaign, and of course we're going to take a look at every one of the match weeks, of course starting right here with Matchday number 1. If you knew where you've been, boys, smash your subscribe button and bang up today. All things League 2 related, Bradford Rovers related, world football, folks. We've got it all here under one rooski. That's right, we were covering the EFL League 1s and 2 over the course of the past few seasons, and we're back to reset the blocks, reset the clocks, and of course take a look at the brand new squeaky clean season, of course. But before all that, I want a big shout out to my VIPs. They are the Patreons. That is right. And of course, if you are interested in helping out the channel, check out the link down below, of course, in the old bits and pieces there. But anyway, what we're talking about, we're talking about that's right, Sky Bet League 2. And of course, it is a brand new squeaky clean season. So, but before that, we do have to clean up a bit of something. And that was, of course, the winners of last year's prediction league. That's right, folks. Now, before we do that, of course, we're going to take a look at how the table panned out. This is how the table panned out. Forest Green Rovers, Exeter City, Bristol Rovers did, of course, get themselves promoted at the end of the year. Joining them was, of course, Port Vale via the playoffs. Of course, we covered all the games from match day 1 all the way through to the playoff final, and we're going to do the same again this season. But, of course, throughout the year, we ran a prediction league, and, of course, I've been meaning to get back to do the winners, and here they come now. There is a prize, and the same can be said this time around. So here come the winners. Of course, these were the final picks, the prediction final. These little points here mattered at the end of the campaign. Russell Frost and Deep at the Great, the only guys picking up points at the playoff final, getting the correct result. That, of course, added to the end of the season. This is actually the mini season from January onwards. This didn't really account for anything. But Deep at the Great won that one with 138 points. Of course, Jimmy Watton in second, of course. But that's all bits and pieces. That's all dust under the rugs there, boys. The real meat of the matter is who actually won the overall prediction league from, of course, match number 1 all the way through to the final. Well, here we go. It's actually Jimmy Watton, boys. Let's give him a round of applause. Yes, 233 points. Well done to him. 5 points clear. Actually, 6 points clear of Iman Hussein, and James Boots FC are great in third. So well done, Jim. You will get an Amazon gift card for $10, of course, or £10, whichever way we can work it out. What you've got to do is get a hold of me, whether it's via Twitter, via email, which of course you can find if you look on Twitter. You'll see my email, and then of course I've got to identify you. So we're going to identify you one way or another, of course, and then we'll get that to you. But that is only the small case. I want to showcase another extra level. We do have, of course, the Predictor of the Month. Of course, these were the winners of the Predictor of the Month, stretching all the way from August through to May. Now you can win multiple months, of course, just like Deep at the Great did here. I think he was the only guy in here to win multiple months. Actually, Jimmy Watton got a couple of them as well. So those guys are going to go into a spinner here. We're going to spin, and whatever name comes out will also get a $10 gift card. Now, hopefully it's Jimmy Watton. If Jimmy Watton picks up, that's an easy one for me. I'll just double his victory up to £20. So that's, of course, the state of play for the gifts for League 2. We're going to do the same for this season. So make sure you get in early, get your predictions in. They are free. Of course, I am taking a hit on this, but of course it is for the love of the channel. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm talking about. Put all the winners' names in right here, right now. Of course, we're going to spin it once, and of course, whatever name comes out on top, we will give them the victory. So let's get into it. And here we go. We're spinning. We are spinning, and this is live. Look at that. It is. It's Jimmy Watton double. No disrespect to anybody else. It just makes my life and postage and all that kind of stuff bloody fantastic. So easy peasy. So Jimmy, you're a big winner here. You're double vision for you. So well done to you. And it is just simple as that. Come in, week out, get your predictions in, get your name in lights, and of course maybe you could be like Jimmy here. Of course, clean sweep, Predictor of the Month victory, and of course the league himself. So well done. Give him a round of applause. Don't be bitter. Don't be twisted. It is of course just love. Alrighty then, folks. Let's kick it on forward to this year's campaign and take a look at the 24 clubs that will make up the EFL League 2. Let's get into it. Wimbledon are here, of course, relegated from League 1. Barrow joined them. Bradford City under Sparky Hughes. Carlisle United, Colchester United, Crawley. Crewe are in the mix. So are Doncaster, Rovers. Gillingham as well make up a trio there of teams relegated from League 1 last time around. Grimsby Town, Harrogate, of course, Hartlepool United, Leyton, Orient, Mansfield Town, of course, unfortunately, there since, of course, they failed in the playoffs. Newport County, Northampton Town, Rochdale, Salford City, Stevenage, of course, and Stockport County from, of course, the Vanarama National League. They're there. Sutton United, Swindon Town, Tranmere Rovers, and Walsall. These are your 24 clubs. Who do you think will go up? Who do you think will go down? Let me know down below, of course. And if you haven't checked out my video for my 24 ranked teams, make sure you do so. And of course, that link should be in the description right here, right now. But let's take a look at the new format of the show. It is like this. It's old school. We're going back old school. Hopefully, not too many postponements via COVID. Otherwise, this should be pretty simple. We've got the table on the bottom hand side here. And of course, we have the predictions down there. We're going to go through them one by one. And of course, take a little look at, of course, who's going to do well, who's going to do shit. And of course, the opening day of the season. So, without further ado, let's kick it all off with Bradford City kicking it all off against Doncaster Rovers. A bit of a zinger chicken dinner to get us all off to an absolute fly. Let's take a look at the stats then, shall we, between these two sides. They've played each other 18 times since 2004. Bradford winning 6 of them, Doncaster winning 9 of them. There's been 3 draws as well. Bradford, though, coming into this with 67% form, of course, over the last 6 games in all forms, of course, home and away, friendlies, competitive, whatever you want to do. That's just 1 win at the last 3. Doncaster Rovers, though, unbeaten in the last 7 games, picking up 4 wins on the spin. Their biggest win over Bradford was a 5-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win for Bradford City. So they've scored 25 goals, Bradford, against Doncaster's 30 over the course of those 18 matches. Works out around about 1.67 goals a game for Doncaster, 1.39 goals a game for Bradford City. Of course, last time they played each other was in the EFL Trophy. That was back in September 2020. It was a 4-1 win for Doncaster. That was at the Keepmoat. However, last time they played each other at Valley Parade was in League 1. It was a 1-0 win for Doncaster back in April 2019. So Doncaster actually unbeaten against Bradford City over the last 4 occasions, stretching all the way back to 2017, where Bradford picked up a win at Valley Parade in, of course, League 1. Meanwhile, Bradford did play Chesterfield in a friendly. They lost 3-0. It's not the greatest preparation for the new season. As for Doncaster Rovers, though, picking up a 3-0 win over AFC United back on the 23rd of July. The odds for this game then show is 6-5 on is your Bradford. Of course, 13-5 is short, and 16-5 is, of course, the away win here. Of course, Bradford are buoyed on by some signings. Of course, they picked up Richie Smallwood, of course, ex-Rover, matey boy Harry Chapman as well, coming at you from the wing. They've also got Harry Lewis, young goalkeeper, spent a bit of money on him as well, coming at you. So, well, actually not spent a bit of money, but he's actually quite rated at this level. So I do anticipate a Bradford victory here on opening day, 2-0 win for them over Doncaster Rovers. Kicking on forward, though, it'll be Carlisle taking on Crawley Town, a team I've tipped to do very, very shit this season. Of course, Carlisle have played Crawley 20 times since 2004. 10 wins for Carlisle, 3 for Crawley, and 7 draws as well. Carlisle, though, just 1 defeat past 5, 58% form. Meanwhile, Crawley just 1 win. Of course, of the last 5 games, 42% form for them. Heading into this, the biggest win for Carlisle over Crawley was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-0 win for Crawley. 32 goals have scored by the home side here against Crawley, who have only picked up 20 over the course of those 20 matches, which works out around a goal a game compared to Carlisle's 1.60. The last time they played each other in Carlisle was a 1-1 draw back in January 2022. And of course, the last time Crawley won was way back in September 2021. Crawley coming to this on the back of a 1-0 win over Eastbourne. It was a friendly. Carlisle with a draw against League 1 and Morecambe. The odds for this one, though, what have we got here? We've got Carlisle coming at you 6-5 with the victory. 23-10 is your Crawley, and 9-4 is your draw on this one. Signings coming in, Thomas Holly from Ipswich, a good little keeper there for Carlisle. Of course, keep tight at the back. As for Crawley, they've picked up a couple of players as well. Jaden Davis from Millwall. They've picked up Brandon Mason from MK Dons. Dion Conroy as well from Swindon. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw myself on this one. I can't separate two sides at this early stage. Moving forward, we have Walsall taking on Hartlepool at the Bescott. That's also kicking off on the 30th of July. Of course, Walsall have played Hartlepool 20 times since 2004. 8 wins for Walsall, 5 wins for Hartlepool, and 8 wins, 5 wins for Hartlepool, and 7 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Walsall over Hartlepool, 5-2 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win, of course. Walsall, though, just 1 defeat past 4 games in all competitions and all friendlies. Hartlepool haven't won a game in the last 12, of course, including taking a loss to Blackburn Rovers in pre-season. Of course, Walsall's biggest win, 5-2 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win. They've scored 31 goals, have Walsall over Hartlepool, who have scored 26 in return. 1.3 goals a game ratio for Hartlepool, and of course 1.55 for the hosts on this one. Walsall did beat Hartlepool last time around. That was, of course, in the Bescott. That was back on February 2022, a 3-1 win it was. Hartlepool coming to us on the back of that 1-0 loss against Rovers. Walsall, though, with a 2-0 win over Solihull Moors. The odds on this one, then, we have 23-20 as your hosts, 23-10 as your draw, and 12-5 is your away win. That's, of course, Hartlepool. Going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts here at the Bescott to get themselves off to a flood, despite, again, my lower echelon predictions for them in the league. Harrogate taking on Swindon, of course, coming at you this weekend. Of course, Harrogate played Swindon just 2 times and haven't won in either of them. Of course, 1 win for Swindon, 1 draw. Harrogate have actually lost the last, winless in the last 4, 42% form. Meanwhile, Swindon have won 3 and lost 3 of the last 6, of course, over in pre-season as well. Swindon's biggest win and only win over Harrogate was a 4-1 win. We'll talk about that in a minute. They've actually scored 5 goals compared to Harrogate's 2 over the course of those 2 matches. Books are at 2.5 goals a game when they take on Harrogate, who scored just the 1 as well. The last time they played, there was in fact a 4-1 win for Swindon. That was in Harrogate, and that was back in April 2022. Swindon did pick up a 4-2 loss against Cardiff in friendly. Of course, that was last time around. Harrogate with a 2-2 draw against Barnsley. Not too shabby there, as of course they look forward to the start of the season. 21-10 is your host. 5-2 is your 6-5 is your away win on this. Back in, of course, a 1-0 win for Swindon, who were a little bit unlucky not to make it into League One last time around. Leyton Orient, of course, kicking off that campaign against the returning Grimsby. That's right down at Brisbane Road. Richie Wellens, of course, at Leyton Orient. Paul Hurst over at Grimsby. Played each other 10 times since 2004. 4 wins apiece and 2 draws as well. Leyton Orient, though, just winning once over the last 6 games over in pre-season. 25% form for them up against the Grimsby Town side, who haven't lost in the last 6. In fact, they haven't lost any of the last 9 away games. That's, of course, stretching into the back of last season in the Vanarama National League. 83% form for them. Their biggest win over Leyton Orient was a 3-0 win. The biggest win in the way was a 4-0 win. In fact, they both scored 12 goals against each other, which works out around about 1.20 goals a game. Last time around, though, over at Brisbane Road, it was a 3-2 win for Grimsby. That's back in October 2020. That was in League 2. Grimsby did pick up a 0-0 draw against Lincoln. That's back on the 19th of July. In a friendly, Leyton Orient with a 2-2 draw against Dagenham on this. Do we have any major signings? I'm sure there must be. Of course, across the divisions, Grimsby picking up Daniel Olsey from Harrogate Town. Also, Anthony Driscoll-Glennon from Burnley as well. Meanwhile, do we have any Leyton Orient signings, of course, of any significance? Picking up a George Moncur. Not a bad signing from Hull City there. Following in father's footsteps, maybe? Correct me if I'm wrong. And also Theo Archibald joins the gang as the Orient as well. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the odds. We have Leyton Orient cut 21-20 for the victory, 23-10 is your draw, 11-4 is your away win. Back in, of course, a 3-1 win for Orient on this one. Northampton Town, they'll be taking on Colchester United coming at you as well. Northampton Town a little bit unlucky. 12 times they played since 2003. 7 wins for Colchester, 5 wins for Northampton, and 0 draws. 4 defeats on the bounce, though, for Northampton. Not great pre-season form for them. Up against the Colchester side, who've just lost once at the last 6, however, winless in 3. The biggest win for Colchester over Northampton Town was a 4-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win as well for Northampton Town. They scored 17 goals compared to Colchester's 21 over the course of those 12 matches. Works out around about 1.75 goals a game compared to Northampton Town's 1.42. Meanwhile, Northampton Town picked up a 3-0 win last round over at Northampton back in February 2022. In fact, it's actually been back-to-back clean sheets for Northampton over Colchester, scoring 4 goals without return over the last 2 games. Northampton Town, though, did lose to Luton. They have been playing respectable opposition, though, so I'll go give them credit for that. Meanwhile, Colchester with a 2-2 draw against Ebbsfleet, of course, in the non-league football. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the odds. 11-8 on is your Northampton, 14-5 is short, and 15-4 is your away win on this. We're going to take a quick look at Colchester, perhaps. What signings did they make? Not many, to be honest with you. Alex Newby coming at you from Rochdale. Sam Hornby coming in from Bradford City. As for Northampton Town, picking up a couple of signings as well, strengthening their chances to get out of the division this time. Ryan Haynes coming out of Newport County. Lee Burge as well from Sunderland. Danny Hinton, goal-scoring machine there. Getting a bit old, though, from Newtown, amongst some others. What do we think about this one? I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Northampton Town to take it to the house. Or Rochdale, they're going to be taking on Crewe Alexandra, of course, down at Spotlands. Now, these two sides have played each other 11 times since 2006. Of course, 4 wins for Rochdale, 3 wins for Crewe, and 4 draws as well. Rochdale picked up 3 wins out of the last 6. That's 50% form for them. Meanwhile, Crewe haven't won in the last 6 games. Of course, pretty worrying times for Alex and his Morris boys. Of course, their biggest win over Rochdale was a 2-0 win. The biggest win for Rochdale over Crewe was a 4-0 win. And in fact, Rochdale scored 24 goals compared to Crewe's 17 over the course of those 11 matches. Works out around about 2.18 goals a game compared to Crewe's 1.55. That's the picture that over at Spotlands was a 3-3 draw back in January 2021 was in League One, of course. Crewe, though, picked up a 2-1 loss against Rotherham last time around, and again, credible opposition for them over their pre-season. Rochdale with a 3-2 loss against newly promoted Port Vale. The odds for this badger then, shall we? We have Rochdale 21-20 for the victory, 23-10 is your draw, and 13-5 is your Crewe Alexandra. I'm going to go with a draw here, right down the middle. I can't really separate the two sides. Again, at this early stage, up in the northwest. Speaking of northwest, it is Salford City, of course, taking on Mansfield Town. Bit of a zinger, this one myself. 5 times they played each other in 2019, 2 wins apiece and 1 draw. Salford, though, just 1 win in the last 6, 33% form up against the Mansfield Town side. Just 1 defeat at the past 6 games, 75% form for them heading into this. The biggest win for Mansfield over Salford was a 2-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-0 win as well for Salford City. 8 goals scored compared to Mansfield's 7 over the course of those 5 matches. Works out at 1.6 goals a game ratio compared to Mansfield Town's 1.4. The last time the pressure in Salford was a 2-2 draw back in May 2022. Of course, Salford beating Barrow in a friendly, of course, heading into this match. Meanwhile, Mansfield with a big 3-0 win over Oldham, of course, as the League Two draws its ugly head. The odds for this one then, shall we? We have Salford City, of course, 5-4 for 11-5 is your Mansfield, and 3-1 is, of course, your draw. I'm going to go Salford. So picked up Callum Hendry. Big signing that is from St Johnstone. Of course, he will score goals at this level. Elliot Watt as well from midfield for Bradford City as well. Meanwhile, Mansfield, of course, a little bit hard done by not getting promoted themselves, and I've tipped them to do very, very well. Scott Filders coming in from Cheltenham. We've got Willie Swan from Nottingham Forest, and Owen Mason as well from the under-18s has come through the ranks. Back in, of course, Salford here to get a point, and Mansfield to kick off the season unbeaten. Moving forward, we have Stockport County. They're taking on Barrow. That's right, of course, Stockport County bringing the thousands with them, with Dave Chandler at the helm up against Barrow and Pete Weil. Played each other 13 times since 2011. 5 wins to Stockport, 6 wins to Barrow, and 2 draws. Stockport, they're winning 5 of the last 6, 83% form. Barrow just 1 win in the last 5 for them, 33% form heading into this. The biggest win for Stockport over Barrow was a 4-2 win. The biggest win the other way was a 1-0 win. And in fact, Barrow scored 19 goals compared to Stockport's 21 over the course of those 13 games. Works out around about 1.62 goals game ratio compared to the 1.46 for Barrow. Stockport do have a winning run of 4 games, of course, and they have beaten Barrow last time around back in August 2019 in Stockport. That's back in the Vanarama National League. Of course, Barrow did pick up a 1-0 loss against Salford. Stockport with a big 2-0 win over Altrincham as pre-season ended quite brightly for the hosts here. 20-11 on is your Stockport. They are tipped to go very, very well. 3-1 is draw, and 90-4 is, of course, your away win here. Stockport County will bring the thousands with them. Of course, also coming with them is new signings. Joe Lewis from Torquay. Picked a Callum Camps. What a monstrous signing, formerly of Fleetwood. Once tipped with Rovers, but of course not there now. And Jaros picked up from Liverpool's under-23s on loan. Of course, so he'll do very, very well for them. As for Barrow, of course, new signing for them. Of course, that might be able to turn it up for the visitors on this one, if I can bloody find it. Of course, Barrow bringing in quite a few players, quite a lot from Halifax Town. Tyrell Warren, Billy Waters coming in from Halifax Town, Sam Foley coming from Tranmere Rovers, and George Ray from Exeter City, a goalkeeper. But for me, Stockport will win this one comfortably, and of course set a benchmark for the season in going probably top with that 3-0 win. We'll see about that. Sutton United against Newport County coming at you as well. Played each other 8 times, these two sides since 2005. 1 win for Sutton, 5 for Newport County, and 2 draws, of course. Back-to-back games now without a win for Sutton United heading into this out of pre-season. Of course, Newport County just 1 win and 6 for them, also heading out of the pre-season. 2-0 was the biggest win for Newport County over Sutton, just a 1-0 win for them over Newport County over the course of those 8 matches. 6 goals scored compared to Newport County's 12, works out around about 1.5 goals game ratio for Newport County over Sutton, who have scored just 0.75. 1-0 win it was though for Sutton last time around in Sutton back in April 2022, and of course Sutton picking up a 1-0 loss to Woking. Back-to-back games, back-to-back pre-season games without a goal for them up against the Newport County side, also back-to-back games without a goal. Pretty much identical records for both two sides heading into these matches, of course, according to my eyes. Do we have time for a quick look at the transfers? No, we don't. We're going to keep on moving on. So Sutton United, of course, take a look at them on the odds, if I can find it. Of course, 23-20 for the host, 23-10 is your draw, 12-5 is your away win. I'm back in, of course, Sutton United to take an L on this one. Newport County with a big win on the road, and again, give themselves a fantastic start to the season. Tranmere up against Stevenage, of course, that's right. Mickey Mellon up against Steve Evans, of course, managerial dugout extravaganza. Played each other 14 times since 2011, 4 wins apiece and 6 draws, of course. Tranmere winning 3 and losing 3 over the last 6. Stevenage, though, unbeaten in the last 6 games, picking up 3 wins and 2 draws. The biggest win for Stevenage over Tranmere was a 2-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 3-0 win for Tranmere. Of course, 18 goals scored by the hosts, of course, 16 goals scored by Tranmere over the course of those 14 games. Works out around about 1.14 games for Stevenage, 1.26 games for Tranmere. Of course, last time around, over in Tranmere, was a 1-0 win for Tranmere back in February 2022. 2022. Of course, that was in League Two. And of course, Tranmere with a big 4-1 loss against Huddersfield, heading into the Stevenage pick up a 0-0 draw against Peterborough Sports, of course, into pre-season. The odds here 11-10 for Tranmere, 5-2 short and 3-1. Of course, I like Stevenage with Matey Boy at the helm, but I think they'll lose this one. Tranmere will get off to a flyer, and of course, maybe flex their muscles once again for promotion. And of course, wrapping up, it's of course this match last season was in League One. It's Wimbledon up against Gillingham, with Johnny Jackson debut for, of course, Wimbledon as manager up against Gillingham and Neil Harris. 16 times they played each other since 2011. 7 wins for Wimbledon, 3 wins for Gillingham, and 6 draws. However, Wimbledon haven't won a game in the last 32. Of course, and that's including pre-season. Gillingham, though, 2 wins and 2 defeats in the past 4 games, 33% form for them. Their biggest win, though, Gillingham over Wimbledon, a 4-2 win compared to Wimbledon's 2-0 win. In fact, Wimbledon have scored 25 goals compared to Gillingham's 20. Works out around about 1.56 goals a game for the host, 1.25 goals a game for Gillingham. Last time pleasure at Wimbledon was a 1-1 draw back in August 2021. Of course, Wimbledon did draw with Oxford last time around, a credible result there. And of course, Gillingham did beat Southend 1-0, of course, to end their pre-season. Take a look at the odds for this one then. 5-4 is your host, 9-4 is your draw, and 9-4 is also your away win. That is Gillingham here. I am going to go with a cheeky 1-0 win for Gillingham on the road, and of course, extend that long-running winless run for Wimbledon on this one. Let's take a look at, of course, my odds or how the table will look after my pricks. There you go. Of course, in all its glory. Of course, Northampton Town leading the charge there with Stockport County and Leyton Orient in, of course, the power spots with Bradford City and, of course, Walsall, amongst others, in the playoffs. And, of course, going down as it stands, Barrow and Colchester. Now, how much will that change over the course of the season? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, don't forget to put your own predictions in using the old prediction league. It's free to enter. It's a good bit of fun. And, of course, you'll get your name announced. And, of course, you could win a cash prize, just like Jimmy Watton found out earlier in the show. That's it, boys and girls. Be sure to give it some love by smashing your thumbs up, smashing on the subscribe. Check out the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon as well. But until then, boys and girls, you know what? That is it. And I've enjoyed this one, and I'll be back next week for the next one. But until then, we're done.